There's more.
No, the top of them.
Yeah, there's
because
more
they're broken.
branches. Oh, they're what?
They're broken.
Yeah.
See, these are all single leader trees, like this fir tree right here. It's typically a single leader tree. That means it's one main stem. Some trees, like an oak tree or a pinyon pine or something, are multi-leader. So they'll have a whole bunch of branches growing out from a main trunk. And sometimes there won't even be a main trunk. This is one single trunk going up. As the tree gets really old, and we're at the very top of a ridge here, so the winds get really howling through here. So the smaller trees are sheltered from the wind from the bigger ones. And they kind of shelter each other. But as the tree gets bigger, like this is a real good example of one right here. That's that's probably a ponderosa pine right there. But you can see the top of it. It goes from a single leader, and now there's 3 leaders on it. You see that?
Yeah.
The top is broken, and that happens when the top breaks because of high wind and snow and ice, and it breaks the top off. So all the branches that are at that level, they all want to become the new leader. So they start growing, instead of horizontal, they'll start to grow perpendicular to gravity. And that's called geotropism. So all of these branches are going to start growing perpendicular to gravity, and it actually makes the tree not as healthy and kind of unsafe. So if that was a timber tree, if you were cutting it down for a saw log or to make lumber out of, the bottom part of that would be a good saw log, but towards the top it'd be worthless. You know, it good for firewood or wood chips. You know, that's about it. So you can tell, you know, that this gets a lot of wind and a lot of ice and stuff like that. A lot of times if you look at the tops, you can see which way the prevailing wind is. So if you're going to build something or camp, you can kind of look at the plants around you and find out just the way the plants are leaning, which way the prevailing wind goes. So you might not want to put your door that direction, you know, even though that might have the nicest view. If the weather's nice, you might take a chance, but if not, if you're going to be there for a while, you know, it's just observation of the environment, you know. Unfortunately, we passed, I'll probably point out some others as we see them, but there's chinkapin up here, which is, it has an edible nut. It's Chrysolepis sempervirens, and it's got this real prickly fruit, and it's about the size of a golf ball roughly. And you need gloves, welding gloves, really heavy gloves to get into it. You break that apart, and there's a little nut inside, and it kind of tastes like a hazelnut or a filbert, you know. But that's an edible plant. Sempervirens, that's Chrysolepis sempervirens. Sempervirens means evergreen in Latin. So, so that's a obviously an evergreen plant. This is this manzanita up here. Again, it's got an edible fruit on it. I don't know if it's that much fruit right now, and to develop some flowers or fruit right there. And then this plant right here, this is kind of neat. This is a lupin. I'm not sure what species it is, but it's got a really pretty flower. It's got a palmate leaf. So this is one leaf like that, and all the leaflets on it, and it kind of looks like the palm of your hand, you know. So it's called the palmate leaf. It's got a really pretty flower. It's in the pea family, and I think it's the pea family. And then this is the fruit on it, and this is, by the way, is poisonous, so you wouldn't know. It's got a lot of alkaloids in it, but this has got a unique way of spreading its seed. Is the pods will grow, and then they'll dry and they'll develop an internal pressure, And when the pressure gets big enough, it'll explode. And when it explodes, it sends the seed, it expels the seed, so it'll pop the seed out 2 or 3 feet from the plant sometimes, you know. So sometimes you can be on a windless, real quiet day, and all of a sudden you hear these little pop, pop, you know. You think, what's going on, you know? Well, these things are exploding and disseminating the seed, you know. So, not really sure what the species of this manzanita. They're all in the genus Arctostaphylos, but and these are kind of green. But the seed coat is getting pretty hard. But if you taste it, it tastes like a green apple. Manzanita means little apple in Spanish.
In Spanish,
Yeah.
Wonder about
So if you taste this, it tastes like a green apple. But this is edible. When it's ripe, it'll turn the same color as the bark. And the bark is deciduous, so it loses its bark every year. And it peels off. You can see it right in here. It's starting to peel off. Flake off like that. You see it down there? It's a very hard, dense wood, so it makes really good firewood. It's a real pretty wood. It's real red inside, and so people use it for furniture and for even making jewelry sometimes. But and then another thing about the manzanita here, just like we saw before with the silk trestle bush, it's got a sclerophytic leaf, and they're oriented vertically instead of flat, and that's to not to take as much sunlight, and so it's a way for it to conserve water. So because it's got a hard leaf surface, it won't transpire water as quickly, and because it's not laying flat like that, it won't overheat in the sun. So the sun has a hard time hitting the surface like that and overheating the plant. So during the hottest part of the day, the plant stays its coolest. Okay. If you get poison oak, you can take the berries and the leaves and the branches, the small branches, twigs and stuff, and just put them in a pot of boiling water and boil it for 15-20 minutes, and then let it cool down, and use that to wash the poison oak. And it's really effective on poison oak.
Okay, also when these are ripe and the berry's red, there's a really thin outer coating and it tastes really lemony. And I've made manzanita meringue pie before. It was really good. So, and it's a pretty pink that way, you know.
It's a pink color.
Pink color pie.
Lemon meringue is yellow. You know, this
Yeah.
is a meringue that